Okay, we're downloading A-Game's formula.
3, 2, 1.
Hey all my Crimsonites, and welcome to the Crimson Cure channel, where we embrace our femininity, increase our womanly values, and celebrate our brothers. So join me on our feminine journey to learn, heal, and grow. Hello. How's everybody doing? Hopefully everybody's doing okay. Thank you, Frederick. So we still got to talk about this reparation stuff. Yeah, the sun it's looked nice outside. It actually felt okay today. We got to talk about this reparation stuff and why the Ukrainians are getting what they're getting, and why black people, we gonna have to start coming to grips. We're gonna have to come to grips. We're gonna have to come to grips with the fact that we are not going to get reparations. Thank you, Frederick. We're not going to get it. And I touched on it in the video that I did earlier, right? Because I think black people have, thank you, Noreen. I think black people have to, well, the other thing we got to come to grips with is what is reparations. See, we just think, we think it's just a dollar. We think it's just cutting a check, or maybe some breaks in healthcare, or maybe a break in education and things of that nature, but that's not the total picture. That's not the total picture. The total picture is that the 10 life values is reparations. That's why we're not going to get them. We got to start understanding that. And I know that there are people that disagree. no, we should fight for reparations. We should fight for, we shouldn't let them off the hook and things of that nature. And I get it. I get it. I get it. I really do get it. But first of all, we have to understand when we say reparations, what exactly do we even mean by that? Because a lot of different people have a lot of different ideas about what reparations even are. Because we don't know what we're fighting for. We say fight for reparations. We're not even sure what we want. We're not sure what we want. Let me actually get into it. In order to restore us, which is what reparations is, to repair, restitution, to restore. In order to restore us, they would need to make sure that we received a good value system. Because that is what was taken. See, it wasn't just the labor. It wasn't just the labor. It wasn't just the money they made. Hand over fist, the wealth that they accumulated during the time of slavery. It wasn't just that. If it was just a matter of labor, then we could be talking about just a matter of money. Just a matter of being paid for work done. If it was a simple equation, yeah, we can talk about money. Thank you, Nora. But the labor was the least of what was taken. Because we're suffering from what was taken right now. We're suffering for the fact that we live the American nightmare. When I did that series about the lost cause, that was during Reconstruction. That was right after the Civil War. That was them reestablishing their value system and establishing the lost value system to us, to maintain the power structure that they built. How these people live, how these people believe, how these people survive is predicated on us living the American nightmare. It's predicated on it. Their entire survival is predicated on that. If we get removed from that system, it crumbles. So when we say we're asking for reparations, the reason why we're not gonna give it doesn't even have anything to do with right and wrong. It has everything to do with we're telling them, in order to right us, you got to cut your own head off. In order to restore what was actually taken. Thank you so much, Philip. to restore what was actually taken, they got to cut their head off. Their own head. When have you known them to cut their own head off voluntarily? What I'm trying to say is it destroys them utterly to actually restore us. This is why we get Ketanji Brown Jacksons. This is why we get quote unquote Kamala Harris. She black when it suit them. This is why we get stuff like, oh, we'll make Juneteenth a national holiday. This is why we get that stuff. This is why we get the trinkets. Because the way in which you restore a people so that they can live independently of you is by giving them the 10 life values like they're doing with Ukraine. This is why I'm bringing up Ukraine. Because we're watching them give the Ukrainians a demographic of people that have never helped America. They didn't come here to help us. And the knowledge and the resources that they're going to gain throughout the conflict. That means as the war is actively going on and the aftermath of the war as they rebuild. Thank you, Phineas. Thank you, Norrin. As they rebuild, that's going to be supported in such a way that it allows the Ukrainians, even though they are currently going through a Bioculturon event, which is war, it resets them. It takes it does all of that to a nation. What the United States is saying is that we will support you in 10 main areas until you are able to support it on your own. Thank you, Teresa. Oh, you got your A game. A game. Hey. That's awesome. See, giving that same stuff to the Ukrainians does not destroy America's system. They get to look like the good guys. They get to look like the good guys. Man, look at what the United States is doing. They really stepped up. They really stepping up to be the superpower and the ally to Ukraine that they promised that they were gonna be, should Russia ever invade them. They can't give the same thing to us because it would liberate us completely. That's good for us. It destroys them. We're asking them to cut their own head off. And I don't know no group of people that's willing to do that. I don't know a group of people that will voluntarily put their neck and head on the chopping block for somebody else's survival. That's why we're not gonna get it. Thank you again, Norrin. Said truck stops already round and change at checkout counter for Ukraine Relief Fund. Yeah. So they're getting, thank you, Jeremy. So they're getting all 10. They want you to pray for them. They giving them health care. their families up. They got their appearance value on fleek. I'm going to take you back to what was it, 2017 on fleek. They making sure that the houses that black folks have lost or got slickly taken from them through banks and all this other kind of stuff, red tape, they're giving it to the Ukrainians. You don't see no FEMA camps, do you? They not putting them in concentration camps talking about it's housing. They putting them in houses. They making sure that the Ukrainians are gonna have what they need when it's time for them to go back to Ukraine and rebuild. And then they're gonna help them rebuild with the money. That's the mobility. Let me read you a real quick fact sheet. This is the fact sheet. I'm gonna share my screen real quick. This is the fact sheet here. This is the USembassy.gov. U.S. Embassy in Ukraine fact sheet. U.S. assistance to Ukraine. The United States remains steadfast in its support of the Ukrainian people as they defend their sovereignty and territorial integrity, advance the fight against corruption, implement democratic and constitutional reforms, strengthen the rule of law, restore economic stability and growth, and respond to humanitarian needs. That's all of it. That's everything. That's everything. Maintain their sovereignty so that they don't have to be, look, we're not even going to have them indebted to us like that. We ain't trying to take over their country. They can have their sovereignty and their territorial integrity. That's mobility all day. Advance the fight against corruption. That's mobility again. Implement democratic and constitutional reform. Mobility again. Strengthen the rule of law. Mobility again. Restore economic stability and growth. More mobility. And respond to humanitarian needs. They are going to cover them biologically through the humanitarian needs. What's humanitarian needs? Making sure all of your internal values are met and your needs are met internally on a biological level. They're going to make sure that they are going to advance the fight against corruption, implement democratic and constitutional reforms. Advancing the fight against corruption is ethics. That's culture. All of this political reform and rule of law, that's environment. Economy, environment. So we're gonna uphold you biologically, culturally, environmentally. That's just in the first paragraph. That's paragraph 1. Are we understanding what I'm talking about, y'all? That's the first dang paragraph. Let's continue. In pursuit of these objectives, Vice President Joe Biden, the president, announced today in Kiev Ukraine that pending consultation with Congress, the White House plans to commit approximately $190 million in U.S. assistance. Who gonna for this? Who gonna pay for this? $190 million? You know what? Thank you, Fear to Know. I hope I didn't miss any more. We know as Black people that asking for reparations, or even if we call ourselves demanding it, we're not going to get that from them. We're not going to get that from them. Giving us the 10 life values like they're not intending, they are giving to the Ukrainians, removes us from their system. It takes us out of their system, thereby collapsing it. All of what's going on, it just goes away. It's just destroyed. Why do you think we talk about institutional racism? Why do you think we talk about that stuff? It's institutional. You think they really gonna give you the ammunition and the foundation? They gonna give it to you? They gonna give it to you so you can stand on your own 2 feet? If they wanted you to do that, they would have been gave you the 10 life values. Instead, they gave us the American nightmare. They gave us the lost cause. They gave us the lost value system. They gave us feminism. They gave us the school to prison pipeline. That's what they gave us. That's what they gave us. Because that's what we gonna get from them. The only thing that we gonna get from them is things that help us to be more in tune with helping their system stand. Thank you once again, Norrin. They gave your women more mobility over you. That's what they gave. Let's take a look at what they gave. Because we're going to have to get our heads out of the clouds as a people. We're going to have to look at what they gave. What they still giving. Goldman Sachs pledged and is in the process of fulfilling that pledge of $10 billion over 10 years to Black women. Not Black people, not Black men, the women. Every time they give more mobility to the women. What they gave us was further instability. We're continuing to be destabilized generation after generation. That's what they gave. And they gave us Planned Parenthood on every corner. That's what they gave us. That's what they gave. That's what we're gonna get. Eugenics programs. Welfare programs. slave labor in those prisons. So we think we're gonna go ahead and beg and ask and try to shame these same group of people to make right what they made wrong because the small hats got it from the Germans and the Japanese got it from the US because of the internment camps in during World War II. Because the natives got a few casinos and they live on reservations. We're going to turn around and get 10 life value support from a group of people that gave us redlining. From a group of people that gave us the lost cause. From a group of people that burned down Black Wall Street. From that group. We think we getting reparations from them. We think they're interested in righting a 500-year and going wrong, when their whole entire system is based upon that wrong. They live and thrive and survive because of that wrong. And they're not going to give it up for you or your children or your children's children. They're not. They're not. Let's hit a commercial break. We'll be right back.
Hey guys, this is Spanky Hayes, and I want to say something, whether it's comedy, acting, or just in general real life. I use my A game. I gotta have the A game. I pack it in every pocket. I got one pill in every pocket, and every pair of pants I got. Listen, entertaining y'all is hard sometimes. I gotta fly to Dallas, then to Denver, then to New York, then to LA, then to Detroit. Come on, man. That tires me out. I just take the A game now. I don't have that problem no more. I usually barely don't sleep because I'm entertaining y'all. I'm in the studio all night with the A game. And trust me, when I come home from the studio, my woman gets to feel the real pleasure of the A game. You see, I'm smiling. Watch this. Hey, baby.
Hey, babe.
Guess what I just took?
What?
A game, A game, A game, A game. I'm gonna meet you upstairs, all right?
Oh, okay.
A game, A game, A game. Let me read something to y'all. Jon Stewart blasts American dream as unattainable for Black people. Turns out to be a fallacy. Now, before I read this article, I don't know a whole lot about Jon Stewart. I just found the article to be very interesting. So, I'm not here to comment on him as an entire individual. I'm just saying this particular article was interesting to me. Liberal pundit Jon Stewart decried the American dream as a fallacy for anyone who isn't white during his most recent The Problem with Jon Stewart talk show on Apple TV. The former Daily Show has used his new streaming show to lecture about far-left progressive ideas, particularly on race. After his last episode, Stewart was criticized for his super woke views on race, but he appeared to double down on his latest episode where he discussed race with author Isabel Wilkerson. Stewart parroted Wilkerson's ideas that America was built with a racial hierarchy caste system that we still operate within today. I don't know why that's so groundbreaking. Don't we know that already? Anyway, it was designed, it was purposeful, which makes it, the cruelty of it, our country is that much more culpable, Stewart surmised. Wilkerson argued every American has been programmed to believe that black lives do not matter. So we've been programmed as to who is valued in our society and who must be protected at all costs and whose lives do matter. As much as we have the Black Lives Matter movement as a result of the recognition of ongoing quest for equity and recognition of the humanity of people who have been subjugated for so long. Stewart and Wilkerson also discussed the problem of white resentment and the backlash activists receive when talking about the issue. Noting how rapidly changing demographics would soon make whites a minority in American society, Stewart scoffed that even so, the American dream would still be a fantasy for blacks, as there has always been a redistribution of power to the white elite. The literal interpretation of the American dream is that it doesn't matter where you were born or how you were born or who you are, that in this country you can rise up and go beyond that. Turns out to be a fallacy. But I wonder, when we say, oh, in 2040 or 2050, when the demographics change, we don't know what will happen. And I feel like we do know what will happen because it's happened from the very beginning. And I would say the formation of the Union, the compromise that was made with the southern states, that black slaves would count as 3/5, but they can't vote, but you can count them. There has always been a redistribution of power to the white elite. I'm just going to leave it right there. I'm going to leave it right there. I didn't see where he lied. Do you know what that article really is? What that article really says? That was one white guy to his fellow white people and saying, this lost cause American nightmare system, it's still going, right? Thank you once again, Norrin. It's still going, right? It's still cruel that we got these people under the American nightmare and we are constantly telling them that they can have the American dream and they can't. And we know they can't. And the reason why they can't is because the American dream for them would be the adaptation of the 10 life values. And they would need a bioculturon event in order to reset them again so that they could actually have that value system and completely be relieved of the lost value system. But we know we're not going to do that. But just kind of hipping your coattail about that, like, you do know why these people are still angry. Just saying. I'm just saying. You do know why they're mad, right? Like, let's not get too far in our own fantasy that we don't know why they're mad. Because we do know. We know exactly why they're mad. He talked directly to the value system. He talked directly to it. That whole article was about, we screwed them up on the value system portion. We screwed them. That's what we did. Ever since Reconstruction, you would have thought that the actual physical freeing of black people from chattel slavery would be a step in the right direction and the beginning of real change. And it was not. Because they reinforced the American nightmare, which they had planted the seed and the foundation for it on the plantation. Cotton wasn't the only thing getting planted. And anytime we operated outside of that, Tulsa, Rosewood, and the hundreds or thousands of other similar towns, neighborhoods, counties, anytime we operated outside of that and started operating on the 10 life values, what did they do? It wasn't even a live and let live situation. It wasn't even a situation of, you know what, they over there, leave them. Thank you once again, Noreen. The reason why Tulsa, Oklahoma was what it was is because our ancestors were working and living and thriving through the 10 life value system. They had in order their spiritual values, their health values, their family values, their appearance values. They were able to gain their own mobility. See, that was the scariest part. Them externals really scared them. They own education. We just have our own schools. We just run our own businesses, our own professions. We just have our own leisure. We'll just have our own wealth. Since y'all don't want us and we segregated and we can't come where y'all at no way, so you ain't no way you gonna tell me I can't live just because I can't be with you. No, we know how to do this. We know how to do this. We knew how. We understood that it wasn't always the case that we had not connected the biological component, the cultural component, and the environmental component, and then our own biocultural events. That we didn't always lack that understanding. That was not always a lack. Our ancestors understood that. Coming out of chattel slavery, they knew. They knew how to do it. How you think they figured it out? That wasn't some special knowledge bestowed upon them from the heavens. They just stole it. We taught them this. And then they made sure that as the generations went on, we forgot it. And they have been wielding it like a weapon ever since. Because in order to make sure that we have another value system other than the one that they provided, they know that it would take a biocultural event. And those come in different shapes and sizes. A real quick one is the war, like what the Ukrainians are going through. That's a real automatic reset. It's an automatic, but they had already reset us. Slavery was a biocultural event. We had already got reset. And we were reset to their benefit, not to our own. Oh, I owe y'all a dance, don't I? I didn't even do it. Come on, bam, 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 bam. You gotta hit the like button, bam, bam. You gotta, I'm sorry. I was supposed to give y'all a thumb dance. I'm glad somebody in the chat said it's war. You're not gonna get reparations because the war's still going also. You know, the small hats got theirs, but you know, how long was the Holocaust over? World War II was over. Germany had been defeated. Wasn't no reason to not give it to them. It is not beneficial to them for us to have the 10 life value system. It's not beneficial. It's not beneficial. Which is why the ball gets smacked out of our hands every time we get close to it, or every time we actually do it. Because what Black Wall Street proved to them was that when we could do it, we would. It wouldn't be talk. We would actually do it. And if all of us got that idea, where would they be? Destroyed. We have to understand, from their standpoint, they are surviving. They are surviving. And it is critical. It is critical to their survival as a group because they are the world minority. It is critical to them that the places that they colonized, and we are a colonized people within the borders of the United States, must remain underneath the lost cause. We must remain underneath the American nightmare. We have to, or else the entire system falls like so many house of cards, like so many dominoes being tilted over. You think they are going to accept that? Or that they will willingly put themselves through that for you? We're going to have to fully accept a couple of different points. Number one, in the question of reparations and whether or not Black people, ADOS, deserve reparations from the United States government as a whole is not about right and wrong. We think it's about right and wrong because we were wronged. Because we continue to be wronged. So we're thinking in terms of right and wrong. Well, it's only right that they repair us. It's only right. Thank you, Black Engines. And nations and its real persons get reparations, not slaves. Creek Chatter Aboriginal built Tulsa. Reparations is tied to land. Our brothers and sisters built Tulsa. Our ancestors built Tulsa. But what I'm saying is that reparations is not about right and wrong. We think so, but it's not so. Because the group that we're asking it to come from see it as a detriment to them, to the point of them not surviving. That's how they see it. And that's how they're treating it. And the little trinkets that we get is them saying, look, I'm sorry. Here, have these trinkets and stuff. We look, we know we got you in the American nightmare and you can't get out. We know. But listen, it ain't even personal. It's not even personal. We just surviving. And we doing it at your expense. And we know that. So if you get out of it, it'll be because you got out of it. Not because we let you out. Because we ain't letting you nowhere. Because we're not going to risk that level of destruction to us so you can live. If both of us is dying of thirst and I reach the water first, I ain't going to give you none. And I'm going to need you to not take that personally. I know you probably are, but I'm sorry. It ain't personal, really. We doing what we got to do. And I kind of suggest you do what you got to do. Whatever it is you think you got to do to get out from under the American nightmare, I suggest you get to work. I suggest you start doing it. Now we gonna fight you tooth and nail every step of the way because you leave, and whether we release you or you find your way out still destroys us. But okay, game on. Because right now we got you checkmated. We done corrupted the queen on the board and you left on the other side all by yourself. We got you checkmated. So I don't know how you gonna get out of it, but okay. You do what you gotta do, and I'm gonna do what I gotta do. And I'm gonna do it by any means necessary. Any means. I don't care what I gotta do. Because I can justify it all in the name of me surviving. I can justify everything. I can justify any level of cruelty. Do you understand that? Do you understand that they was able to justify within themselves the cruelty of chattel slavery? Do you understand that that's what we dealing with? That they soothed themselves over the inhumane and brutal treatment of another group of human beings, and they had to dehumanize them in order to make peace with the fact that they did it. They even used the Bible and religion and God to try to justify everything that they did, no matter the level of cruelty. That's where the lost cause even come from. That's what lost cause culture even is. We gon' say, even though the South lost, we gon' say we ain't really lose. It was really a victory. You just don't know it. And the North helped the South do that. You know what the North did for the South? Do you know why lost cause culture perpetuated even to this day? So when you see them waving the Confederate flag, that is what they are celebrating. That is what they are talking about. That is what they are uplifting. The North helped them by supporting the South through all 10 life values. They helped them spiritually. They helped them health-wise. They helped their families. They helped their appearance value. We'll agree that it wasn't that bad. We'll agree. They helped their dwelling. We're going to help you rebuild these houses. We're going to help you put together the remnants of your family. We're going to help you. We're going to help the dwelling. We're going to help you. We're going to help you with your mobility. We're going to send the funds down there for you to rebuild. We're going to come down there physically to help you rebuild. We're going to help you with your education of yourself and your children and your children's children. We're going to help you because the economy was tanked because they had depended on slave labor for it. So they were at a loss. They were like, what do we do? The infrastructure that we had built is gone. And the North said, we gonna help you do it. Because even though we fought you, you're still our brother. The fighting was a principality. You still our brother. We just had to straighten you out a little bit. We just had to whop you upside the head a couple times. But that don't mean you're not my brother just because I whopped you upside the head a couple times. I had to whip you. But that's all right. Because I still love you. After the whipping, I still love you. So we're going to help you. We're going to help you with the education. We're going to help you with the profession. We're going to help reconstruct. What do you think Reconstruction was? We're going to help you build it again. Because after all of it is still America. All of it is still the United States. Thank you, Black Engine, again. So they're able to do this because we have not nationalized ourselves. Malcolm became aware of this before his death. He was going to the UN. We're going to help you with the profession. We're going to help you with the leisure. We're going to help you recuperate your wealth. It doesn't, the other thing we got to get over and have to accept is that it doesn't matter what other group got reparations, we're not going to get it. Because the other groups could be given reparation because it did not destroy the giver. Giving us reparations destroys them. I'm not going to do it. For that reason and that reason alone. You're going to keep getting black women put in positions of power. Because we think it's bad right now with number 46 in office. If he don't make it, if for whatever reason he go to glory during his term, we're going to have Kamala Harris as the president. I need that to sink in. Reparations, especially for us, is the 10 life value system. Because this restores what was stolen. They're not transferring that wealth over. They're not going to do it. They're not going to transfer their generational wealth that they've been hoarding for all these centuries and generations and give it to you. They're not going to do that. We have to create our own freedom, our own reparations. We're going to have to get that through to ourselves as a group. This is why we're talking about the 10 life values in the first place. Because individually, this is going to help us become better, clear-minded people. And once our value system is intact, we can move forward. We cannot ask for this. In truth, let me come back to say this to y'all face. In truth, they can't give us that. They can't. It is not within their power. They can't give us spiritual value because it don't belong to them. They can't give us health value because our health don't belong to them. You know, before we roll out, you know that term, inalienable rights, that we be talking about? Inalienable rights. I was actually corrected on the pronunciation of that word. It's not inalienable, it's inalienable. Everybody in the whole wide world says that word wrong, including myself. It's not inalienable, it's inalienable. What is a lien? Y'all know what a lien is? For those of you who are a little shaky on what a lien is, I'll give you an example. When you are financing your car, the car has a lien because you don't own it. You're paying the financing company. They own it. Their name is on the title as the owner of that car. And your name can't get on that title unless you pay the loan completely so that the lien, the ownership, can change hands. When you have inalienable rights, that means that rights can't be given or taken by any human or governmental body because the human entity or governmental body does not own that right. Why do you think it didn't apply to black people? Why do you think that inalienable rights did not apply to black people? Why didn't it apply? Thank you there. I said it said no need for reparations. But I knew Ketanji Brown would satisfy black women. Look at the other candidates for Supreme Court justice. Either one will do. Yeah. Why wasn't lien or inalienable rights applied to black people? Because we were not human and they owned us. There was a lien on our rights. Wasn't supposed to be, but there was a lien on our rights. So we don't have inalienable rights because they were definitely lienable. They were definitely lienable. Because they used to ask our ancestors who they belonged to. Not who are you? No. Who do you belong to? And you had to have free papers. You had to have paperwork that said that the lien on you was gone. There's still a lien. There's still a lien. They're not going to transfer the title to you. You're not going to give no property, no reparations. Reparations for what? That's like giving horses reparations for riding them into war. Well, our fellow horse line was killed as war horses. And if we go to war again, I'm riding you and you're going to get shot as a war horse. Matter of fact, your grandsire was a real good war horse. That's where your stock came from. That's why we siren you, so your progeny can be war horses too. So what you talking about? We own you, the stable you in, the hay you eating, them little oat bits, them little apple pieces, we own that. And we own you. And we'll hear no more of this talk about you not wanting to be in the stable no more. Go and try to hop the fence if you want to. Hop it. Hop it and see what happens. Go over to the fence and see what happens. You big and bad. You a stallion. You a Mustang. You a Pinto. Hop the fence. I want to see you try. But in order to have even half the strength you need to hop that fence, y'all have to take some A game. Y'all love it. A game, A game, A game. If you want the strength to hop the fence, A. Okay, I cracked my own self up with that one. Oh my goodness. Y'all know what it is. This is A Game, a male herbal solution. Okay? 21 wonderful herbs to help a man's vitality, his strength, his energy, and his libido. Alright? So if you want to be part of the A Game family, all you gotta do is hit the link at the top of the chat, agameherbal.com, and please do not forget to get your 10% discount using the code Kendra10. Okay? We got to look after our own health value. They not going to do it. So we got to do it. So once again, the link at the top of the chat, agameherbal.com, and you get a 10% discount using the code Kendra10, and you will become part of the A Game family. All right. I want to thank everyone for their contribution. Want to thank everyone for the cash apps and all of that, for your time, for your attendance, and a special thank you to my support team, without which none of this is possible. I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up, and I will catch you guys on the next one. Bye-bye, Crimsonites. Hey guys, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell. And if you've got more to say on the topic, leave a comment down below. Also, don't forget to support our sponsor, who so graciously supports this channel by clicking the description box and the link for A Game at agameherbal.com. You can go ahead and get a 10% discount off of your next purchase using the code Kendra10. This has been yet another Crimson Cure production, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.